video gaming. One study finding around 4 in 10 Americans personally experience some sort of harassment online, particularly those bad for gamers of color. So TJ is back. Tell us about this.
Hey, Ron, for this story, I listened in on a gaming session, and the black gamer was told by someone he was playing with online, you need handcuffs and a knee on your neck. Now, I was shocked by what I heard. The gamers were shocked that I was shocked. They say this is typical of what happens on the online gaming community. They call it a racist, toxic environment, and they're doing it all while they're just trying to do the simplest of things, have a good time and play a video game. Terrence Miller is a star in the world of professional gaming, but one of his breakout performances at a major gaming tournament in 2016 was overshadowed by racial abuse he says he endured in real time as he competed.
There was a lot of racist and hateful messages posted. I never expected it to happen at the scale that it did.
Professor Kashana Gray says video gaming has a history of harassment.
Sexism or racism in those spaces has been a constant since gaming went online.
In 2014, there was Gamergate, an organized campaign threatening women online.
Things have definitely gotten better, but I do still see stories of similar things happening to other people.
GMA spoke with a group of gamers. All of them say they've at some point hidden their identities while gaming online to avoid the harassment.
I would only chat with my friends and be in private parties just because of the verbal violence that is going on in this space.
You made a conscious decision at some point, Natasha, to keep people from knowing, one, you're a woman, and from knowing you're black. In doing something you love that much, you still felt that's what you needed to do to participate in it.
I have gone through a very rigorous amount of online harassment that made me afraid to do that.
When folks of color are there making themselves visible within the space, they are subject to a whole host of inequalities.
GMA was there as friends and family of Professor Gray go online with disturbing results, playing Call of Duty, a multiplayer game in which people are placed randomly on teams. After a few hours of play, this happens.
Hang even.
I figure out why you're so angry. I'm playing.
Black people, okay?
The verbal harassment went on for nearly 10 minutes with language too offensive to broadcast. We played an excerpt of this for our group, which included Kaylin, who was on the receiving end of that racial abuse.
Kaylin, you sounded kind of calm in the recording there, but tell me what was actually, were you calm? Or was something else bubbling up inside of you as that was going on?
My hands were shaking. It was hard for me to focus. It was just for a good 10, 15 minutes of just straight racial attacking. Sometimes it's unbearable.
What do you hear when you heard that, Khalif?
This is every other weekend. Which is the saddest part, right?
I'm surprised that you all not surprised.
That's definitely super tame compared to what I hear. The anonymity of a keyboard, it allows them to be absolute and complete internet thugs.
Activision, the parent company of Infinity Ward, which makes Call of Duty, told GMA, "We do not tolerate racism, hatred, or harassment of any form. The actions we have taken include banning thousands of players for racist and hate-oriented names, regularly implementing new technology to address these issues, adding resources dedicated to confronting racist behavior, and providing even easier ways for players to report offensive behavior." Xbox, the platform the gamers in the GMA demonstration were playing on, said, "Racism has no place in our community. Players exhibiting this behavior will lose access to Xbox Live. Only 2% of game developers are black, according to an industry survey.
The folks who can help them make these decisions are just not in the room. They're not at the table.
Until that begins to change, Miller warns young players of color might be discouraged from doing something they love.
They still deserve to be in the space without feeling alienated.
And again, every single person we talk to, all the gamers say, yes, it has gotten better. And some of these companies have put in some things in place that can help, but it's not enough. This is a $150 billion a year industry. There's an estimated 2.5 billion gamers around the world. And can you imagine, guys, that's online. We know about social media and stuff. People hide behind a keyboard. But these folks can talk directly to you. Right? And so why you have to hide your identity to do something you love, or try to leave the community to do something you love. So it's not, you can't just dismiss it as, well, if you don't like it, just mute them, or you don't have to do it. Yeah. We wouldn't tolerate that in a workplace. We wouldn't tolerate it anywhere else. And this is why it's such a big deal for these folks. So doing everything else while black, gaming while black is also an issue.
Wow. Thank you for shedding a light on that.
You got it.
Appreciate it. TJ.